Devin Booker against the Clippers. What a finish. Pick it up 40 seconds left in the game. Suns up by 1. Paul George in transition. Playoff P. Taking it strong. Clippers a 1-point lead. Half a minute to go. Next, Suns possession. Booker didn't have a huge offensive night, but he does knock this one down. 2 of his 20. Clutch shot. Needed stitches after colliding with Pat Beverly earlier in the game. Next, Clippers possession. They're down by 1. It's George working on Jay Crowder. He's got it to go. Paul George had 26. Clippers back in front on the other end. Booker's going to have it knocked away by Beverly. Ball goes out of bounds. It's called Phoenix ball. But the refs would take another look, which was something we said a lot of times last night. Clippers get the ball. Suns would foul George. 1-point game. He missed the first. Oh, and then he misses the second. He misses both shots. So it's still a 1-point game. Suns with a chance to win. 8 seconds to go. Bridges in the corner. It's knocked out of bounds. It's off Terrence Mann. So the Suns get one more chance. 0.9 remaining. They call it up. Jay Crowder throws the pass. The screen is set. And oh my goodness, he did it. Deandre Ayton, the slam dunk as time expires. Among the most incredible finishes in the history of any NBA playoff game. Suns get all the way back and they win it 104-103. They've got a 2-0 lead in the West Conference Finals.
Well, I'll start off by saying that's definitely Jay's game winner. Making a great pass or a 7-footer. Other than that, Coach drew up a great play where, I was in the best position. My teammates trust me and my coaches trust me. And, great Book set a great screen, that freed me up into the lane to at least gather my feet and go for the ball. And the rest is, just off my athleticism and my talent.
There's really no other reason to describe it. We got PJ and Timmy Legler with us here. PJ, you're a coach. I want to start with the offensive piece of it. Take us through it. Take us through what made that play so spectacular.
Well, all 3 guys involved executed perfectly. Jay Crowder, Deandre Ayton was right. Jay Crowder did the toughest part. There's no question about that. But if you watch the screen, Devin Booker had to do what he did or you're not going to get him open. He sets a real solid screen right there. Touch illegal? Maybe, but you're not going to get that call at the end of the game. Now Crowder's got to deliver. Look at how close he is to the backboard. And then Deandre goes up, and he does do the easy part, but the pass was perfect. Legs made a great point last night. DeMarcus Cousins didn't contest that lob to the rim. I think what happened was he got in late. Sometimes that happens. You put your team back out, and all of a sudden one of the assistants yells out, hey, let's put a big guy on the ball. And I think that's what happened. DeMarcus came running in late, and his angle, his back is kind of to half court. His back needed to be toward the middle of the court, kind of toward the foul line, if you will, and then it would have made the pass a little more difficult. The way that pass was thrown, would he have stopped it? No, but he wouldn't have given Jay Crowder the clean look he had at that rim. You love the execution. You love Monty with the guts to do that. Don't forget, 0.9 seconds, they could have brought a shooter around to knock down a jump shot, so it didn't have to be a lob necessarily.
Yeah, you were correct, by the way. Hembo and I went back and looked at it. DeMarcus Cousins literally pulled off the sweats and ran out just for that play. So they did just put him in the game in that spot. Meanwhile, Tim Legler, that's the beginning of where I wanted to go with you. For every action, there's an equal opposite reaction. It's a great play by the Suns, but how about the way it was defended?
Yeah, and look, it starts obviously with DeMarcus Cousins, and in that situation, and you learn this really at a very young age. You think about any time there's a baseline out of bounds play, and I've been in that situation many times in my life where you're guarding the ball and you're just taught, make sure that ball cannot be directly thrown to the rim or into the paint. It has to be funneled out to the corner or to the three-point line. And yes, PJ's right. There's enough time to catch and shoot that. But obviously your percentages go significantly down if you're talking about a 25-footer in that situation as opposed to anything at the rim. And DeMarcus just gave him a clear sight line right where he needed to throw the basketball. One thing I wanted to point out, think about how it's a game of inches. The shot by Bridges that set all this up, if that ball doesn't hit the rim and literally carry him directly, sharply in that direction where it's deflected out of bounds of 0.9, this game's over. If that ball hits the rim and goes up in the air at all, there's not any time left, no matter who gets the rebound. So that's unfortunate for the Clippers. Bad luck there that it left them 0.9, and then they just didn't execute. And Batum couldn't bump on that either because he's guarding Booker, and he's terrified of Booker popping out for the shot. So it was Zubac doing the best he can. And the last element of this, he actually did pretty good job. It's just Deandre Ayton's elevator goes to one more floor than Zubac's. That's what it comes down to, because he's right there. But Ayton is just a little longer, a little bit more athletic. And obviously Zubac got that bump from Booker that prevented him from really being able to gather to go up.
All right, so PJ, the Phoenix Suns have now won 9 straight games, and they've won these 2 without Chris Paul, who they do expect to get back for Game 3. Are they now, in your mind, the team to beat for the championship?
Well, they're the team to beat in the West. No, I don't think they're the team to beat for the championship. I still like Milwaukee coming out of the East, but I mean, they're playing unbelievably well. I can't imagine Lou after the game. He should have started his post game to his guys with, "Hey guys, can't we get a split in these first 2 one of these times just to make it a little easier?" Devin Booker is playing out of his mind. Patrick Beverley did a great job. If you told me they would slow down Devin Booker as much as they did, you would think it would have been a great opportunity for the Clippers, but he stepped up big when it mattered. A lot of people didn't realize, Greeny, that, everybody's screaming offensive interference. That's a pass from out of bounds, so it's a different set of rules. Like, you can catch it and throw it down. A lot of people were all chirping like, he can't do that, he can't grab it. It's a pass. It's a different situation than a shot.
It's an important point to make. Legs, let me come back to you then on the other side of this. The Clippers, to PJ's point, they were down 2-0 in each of their previous series, and they managed to come back to win. They're going to have to do it, we think, without Kawhi Leonard, although he has not been ruled out completely. Can they do it again here against this red-hot Phoenix team?
Yeah, not only are they red hot, they're obviously getting their leader back. So they haven't even been a complete team, and they've got 2 wins in this series. And now you get the brains of the operation back on the floor, the guy that can manage the game, the guy that can score and take over a game if that's what the situation requires as well.
Thank you for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.